Yes, you're going with again, and so is Jaden this time, so you'll be happy. Getting Jaden in's a little bit of a process nowadays.
Hello, I'm David Gray, and I'm heading out on the 4th trip of the 2022 season. This one's kind of special because I'm going with Christian and the doggies. That's right, I said doggies, both of them. Jaden's actually going on this trip with us. He skipped the Dolly Sods trip, probably much to his disappointment, but I don't think he really would have done well on that trip. But Bailey did not handle being away from Jaden very well, so we've decided to take advantage of the fact that Christian's back for the Indianapolis 500. We decided to do a quick overnight backpacking trip down to the Peninsula Trail in the Deam Wilderness, a little southeast of Bloomington, Indiana. I've done a number of videos on the Peninsula Trail, and the world probably doesn't need another David Gray Peninsula Trail video, but I'm not going to miss the fact that this is potentially Jaden's last hike. And I've got the opportunity here to capture it on video, and I'd feel really bad if this does turn out to be his last hike and I didn't get a video of it. Weather-wise, it looks to be absolutely perfect. It's been raining for the better part of the last 2 days here, but the weather cleared out this morning. Looks like temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 70s with lower humidity. Tonight it's going to be around 54 degrees or so, and tomorrow there's not going to be a cloud in the sky, and 70 degrees and 0% chance of rain. So with that, let's get on down to the Deam Wilderness, a little bit south of Bloomington, get this hike started. Well, that's where we're going to be hiking. A little more ominous weather than I was expecting. It's a little grungier than I thought it would be. Made it to the Charles C. Deam Wilderness. And this is the always fun Tower Ridge Road. Not as bad as some of those roads in Dolly Sods, but it's still kind of a long and bumpy road out to the trailhead. We're back, the Peninsula Trail. We made it to the Grub Ridge Trail trailhead. We'll be heading out that way. Cloudier, grungier than I was expecting. Definitely had some serious rain here, but we should be getting clearing conditions. Perfect hiking conditions. We are geared up, and Bailey is more than ready. She's like bouncing off the walls here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. See? Well, here we go. Start of the 3rd Peninsula Trail hike. A few people in the parking lot, but so far it looks like mostly day hikers, so that's probably a good sign for finding a campsite out here. 5 miles out to the lake, and then we will start looking for a campsite. Here we go, we're hiking. First day of the Peninsula Trail. We are rolling. The Grub Ridge Trail, also what I call the Peninsula Trail. Whatever it is, we're hiking on it now. Jaden goes a little slower than he used to, but he still does it. Now this is the intersection with the Axum Trail, which may sound familiar because that's where we were last May when we were looking for the cabin, Terrell cabin. A little down tree across it, but a little mud on the trail, but I think the rain is all cleared out. Beautiful day for hiking in the woods so far. Significant rain here. The whole trail's been like this. Reminds me of the Dolly Sods. It's been a little muddy so far. Not quite as intense as the Dolly Sods. There's usually a way around it, but still a lot of rain here, surprisingly. Yeah, so here's campsite number 10. That's the first one you come to. Oh, a beautiful little setting, about a quarter mile from the car. So you come to it really quick. So I was going to say it doesn't have any water, but if you're that close to the car, it doesn't really matter. So there you go, campsite number 10. 1/4 mile from the trailhead. Pretty nice sight. Things to note, I don't know if you can hear it up in the trees, but it's raining a little bit. I don't remember the trail being this muddy as consistently as it has been right from the beginning. Hopefully it'll get a little better. This is definitely bringing back Dolly Sods like memories so far. They've been a little ahead of us. Bailey wants to come see me, and Christian won't let her. Hi, Bailey. Oh, nice. That is one fat rattlesnake.
Those are some big rattlers.
Oh, there's a third one behind it.
Oh, nice. Snake.
I'm officially freaked out. There's three.
You hear the rattle?
You're kind of telling us.
That is without a doubt the most excitement I have ever had on the Peninsula Trail. And I've also learned now that there are in fact rattlesnakes in Indiana. I knew there were copperheads here, but I did not think there were rattlesnakes in Indiana. That is clearly wrong. Holy smokes, man, there was 3 of them. Way more excitement with less than a mile into the hike than I was counting on today. And I hope we don't have anything more exciting than that. Came upon a little dilemma here. We can get through it, but it's kind of challenging with the doggies, especially Jaden. A little spot besides the down tree. It's a little work hiking with an old doggie on this trail. I remember this place too. This is campsite number 12. And now we are in fact on the Peninsula Trail. I think the Grub Ridge Trail may head down that way. And we keep going this way down to the peninsula. About halfway there, I think. I remember this nifty little downhill, mainly from coming from the other direction when we have to do it in the morning coming up. It's really the only hill on the whole Peninsula Trail of any note. You'll remember it. I sure don't remember the Peninsula Trail looking like this. Looks a lot like the Dolly Sods. Whew. Well, nifty little hills where we just came from. And there's where we're going. Jaden's ready to catch up with Bailey and Christian. We're a little behind. It's kind of hard to see, but here's the terrain we're in. That looks like sky over there and over there. But that's actually the lake down there. Head down to the lake from here. This was that area we walked through where the tornado damage was. Ridge top, knifey thing. You could see in all directions. It's grown up a little bit since we were here in 2018, I think that was 4 years ago. You can see Christian's pants. That's what trail conditions have been like. It's a little muddy. We're getting there. I think we got about a mile to go to the lake and our camp for the night. That's what we're hiking in up here. Clearly not a lot of maintenance done so far this year. Claustrophobic and snake-fearing stuff. Kind of on the home stretch, probably half mile to go, and it is surprisingly dark and gloomy in the woods today. I thought it would be sunny and nice. Temperatures are fine, but it is incredibly humid because I assume they've had a lot of rain here in the canopy. You know, we're kind of in the midsummer type canopy now, not the nice spring-like open canopy. Holds all that moisture into the ground. So even though the temperatures are in the 70s, I'm just soaked with sweat. When we get down to the lake and it's open, I think we'll probably have a little bit of breeze. It should be really pleasant, and we will be there soon. Yep, just like the Dolly Sods. And no easy way around it, just like the Dolly Sods. I guess we got a little log we can go across here, but it kind of dawned on me why maybe I never remember the trail being like this, because I've never hiked this trail in the springtime. It's always been in the fall or late fall, September, October, at the driest time of the year. I don't know if I'll hike this trail in the springtime. Similar experience to what we just had in the Dolly Sods, where pretty exhausting hiking, trying to make your way through the mud pits. I remember these boardwalky sort of things. It's really close to the finish, so we're closing in on it.
Up a lot higher.
It is a lot higher. We walked right up. Well, we made it to the lake. Always seems like a lot longer 5 miles than you believe. And part of that's because the trail was awful muddy this time. We made it.
Now we gotta find a spot.
Well, we're out exploring to see if we can find a better spot, because I think, at least at this point in time, we have the place to ourselves. Here's another spot. It'd be doable, but not nearly as nice as the one with the campsite. And I think this one down here may have been the one that I used the first time I was here on my very first backpacking trip. Yeah, that sure looks familiar. That's pretty nice too. It's got a really nice sitting log. Let's take a look at it. And this one also has the dolly sods rock chairs. Travis would be able to appreciate that. A lot nicer access to the water. Bailey's getting a little swim. It's probably easier for them to get in and out of the water. Christian's getting right on the fire starting. We haven't even unpacked all the stuff out of the packs yet. We got a fire going. It is 3:30, so we are not getting into camp any too early. But perfect timing, and we got the place to ourselves. This is the fine Lake Monroe water that we're getting our water from. I think you can see the color of that water. This doesn't look quite as bad in the dirty water bag, but it's not the cleanest water in the world. The alternative, I really didn't want to drink this fine Lake Monroe water. The alternative is to carry everything you need, and for both Christian and I and the dogs, that's a lot of water, probably 10 liters at least, and I did not want to do that. I've drank it before. Tastes just fine. I've probably done worse. I actually have at the little pond we stayed at on the other part of the Deam Wilderness, where I actually had live tadpoles in my dirty water bag. So I've done worse. Jaden's the longest hike he's done in a long time. Since the last time we did a hike in the Deam Wilderness a year ago. Bailey gets bored and chews up sticks. It's like whittling. Packet Gourmet cheddar cheese spread rehydration time. Historical perspective here. The first time I ever did cheddar cheese spread may have been in this exact same spot. Now we are here, kind of at the tail end of Jaden's backpacking career. That was the very beginning of his career. He did just fine today. He's enjoying the little quilt we've got under him over there. It was a 5-mile day with some pretty nasty dolly sods, muddy trails. Jaden handled it like a trooper. Get this going here a little bit and then go look for some more firewood. The breeze has picked up, which is really nice, because for a while there we had absolutely no breeze, and the 70-degree low humidity day that we were expecting was anything but. Perfectly measured quarter cup. Bailey's over to supervise. Here we go, about an hour, and we'll be having some cheddar cheese spread on Ritz crackers. Yes. Well, we're out on a... Well, that was exciting. This little root right here grabbed my foot, and it did not let go. I did a little tumble. One more little bit of excitement on our Peninsula Trail hike here. We're out looking for firewood, which may be lost cause, we'll see. Way too many people camp around here, but we'll see what we can find. Found a big log and we're using the saw to cut it up. Let's see how this works. You can just hit it now with your foot. Just break it with your foot. That was easy. Cheddar cheese spread time. Dogs are nowhere to be found. They may show up here in a little bit. Doing it in our dolly sods rock chairs here in front of a ginormous fire. Bailey. Ooh, doggies are a little sore. Gonna have to go find Jaden to give him his, which is Christian's job. That's Jaden. And while Christian's doing that, I'll have to take advantage of that opportunity to do mine. Jaden did get his over there. Every bit as good as the first time I did it right here 12 years ago. Christian was getting a little anxious for the hot dogs, which were not quite ready to cook. Christian wanted the single Spam slices that I brought with. We're doing Spam as an appetizer, I think. Spam appetizer. Now we're doing the manual technique. The automatic technique worked just fine. It just worked really fast. So now we're kind of doing it by hand. We flip the meat around on the skewer. Not far away from being done here. This Spam is done. This is the pre-hot dog appetizers. That's probably hot.
A little bit.
You got a big mud spot on your face. You look like a...
Like I went backpacking.
Yeah, but like a Neanderthal ready for war. What do you think?
It's pretty good.
First meat on the fire tonight. The hot dogs are on the grill. We improvised a little with the stick. A slow sear method here. Not a bad setting for it, huh? Not exactly the spectacular sunset I was hoping for, but we'll give it a little more time. Maybe it'll come through for us. I think those will work just fine. The manual way here.
Oh, that's perfect.
The art of cooking hot dogs on the fire. Yep.
Thank you.
Hot dogs on the fire on the Peninsula Trail, shore of Lake Monroe.
That's good.
Cheers.
The
Doggies are going, where's mine? I don't think you get a better hot dog than that. Bailey goes, I'm willing to find out.
I'll volunteer.
I volunteer to find out. Jaden says, I'll volunteer to find out too, but I'm not moving. Uh-oh. Oh, wow.
You can't go out that far.
Sure, I'll go get it. I'll get it. I'll get it.
Bailey, come here. Don't go too far.
He doesn't understand they're sinking to the bottom. It's not a ball, Bailey. Oh, wow.
That was the best one yet.
That's good.
go bed. Bailey, come on. Come here. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Good morning. Welcome to day number 2 of the trip, the final day. Heading back to the cars today. Just woke up and it's a little foggy on the lake this morning. Just a quick overnight trip out here, but last night was just wonderful. Hiking yesterday was a little muddy with a few more timber rattlesnakes than I would care for. But overall, just a great hike out here and a great night last night with Christian and the dogs. Jaden's doing just fine, it seems like, so far this morning, so I think he'll be able to make it out the 5 miles to the car, but just getting going on day number 2, and we'll go over there and get it started with a little Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Yes, Billy. What are you doing? Oh. You sure are a lot happier in the woods when you're with Jaden. Dunkin' Donuts coffee on a absolutely beautiful morning in the Deam Wilderness of Indiana. I'm drinking this coffee in the same spot, maybe the exact same piece of real estate where I did my first backpacking trip 12 years ago with Jaden. No matter what kind of coffee you're doing it with, coffee in the woods in the morning, especially on a morning like this, it's just a great way to get the day started. We are geared up and hiking on the second and final morning of our Peninsula Trail hike. Jaden's getting going a little slow. This is the start of that, the only climb of any note on this whole hike, but it gets your heart beating first thing in the morning. About 1.5 miles into it. The trail certainly didn't get better overnight. Somebody took it deep right there. This log is our best option. I think that's how I did it the last time. Well, I was wrong about that last hill being the, quote, big hill. In Indiana, big hill, keep in mind, but this is it actually. Very start of it, so fun stuff. It's really dark and gloomy in the woods today. Canopy is full on summer canopy now, so it doesn't let a lot of light down here, especially with the sun lower in the sky. Had some dark stretches, which gets a little tricky when you're looking for snakes and maneuvering through mud. Alright, this is the real hill. A fun little spot. I remember this. A little bit of a puzzle, not as bad as the last one we had to go through that I didn't film. So we had our hands full with the doggies. Made it back to the car. And on a quick overnight trip, that is always a great feeling. Whew. So there you have it, the fourth trip of the 2022 season. The Peninsula Trail in the Deam Wilderness in Indiana is in the books. The Peninsula Trail is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of views and sceneries from places like Wind River Range and Glacier and the Sierras. But what this did have, that those haven't had, is a hike with my son Christian and Bailey, and most of all the old guy Jaden. When I did my last hike with Jaden back in October 2021, didn't know if it would be his last hike or not, but I kind of suspected that it would be. So this one was extra special. On top of that, we got to share some time on the trails in the woods on a couple of beautiful days and share that magnificent sunset last night around the fire, and just that really nice night with the campfire out on the lake. The Peninsula Trail was the scene of my very first backpacking trip ever back in 2010, which also happened to be Jaden's very first backpacking trip. I'm not sure if this is going to be his last one, but it seems fitting that we did this hike here on the Peninsula Trail just in case this was his last one. And just like that one was so long ago, this one was also a great hike.